Hello. If you're just starting to watch the stream, make sure and check, well, if you're not watching the live stream, check the comments for timecodes. We tend to go about 2 hours, so it's great to look at timecodes and skip around. We're going to take a little bit of time to get going here. I just need to adjust my camera. I shifted everything on my desk a little bit, so I'm going to have to figure that out a little. I'll say hi to folks in just a second. Hello, folks. Oh yeah, I was just moving them, or I don't even remember. Trying to keep this room a little cleaner. Vin was actually in there earlier. All right, so Spook's like, oh, it's time for the stream. Maybe you'll see him just a second here. Hi, David. Hi, River. Hey, Mark. Hi, Johnny. Hey, Bruce. Hi, Beata. Hi, Randall. Hey, Dean. Hey, Bradley. Hi, Ham's Lab. Bruce again. Yeah, I think I have the cat thing turned off in Deno. Hey, Gary. Hi, Alvaro. Hey, Doctor. I know you're missing it anyway. Hey, David. Thanks to David for taking timecodes, I assume, since he's here. He's doing that. All right. Oh, let me pause these playback streams. And we'll get going. Everything seems to be working. The overhead's not working, but it's not critical for what we're doing today, I don't think. So what I did is I got these C clamps. So I'm actually, you may notice the view is a little different. It's because I am sitting further back from my desk. Because my keyboard's now on like camera mounts, and so I've got to adjust them. Haven't found like the perfect setup yet. But hopefully the hope is that I can like sit here and have my kind of keyboard where it's most comfortable for me to sit. Oh, and did Spook? Oh, yeah, he's in the cat cam. He's good. He's doing his part. Oh, and Mark says, yeah, you made a soldering desk behind you, a soldering desk behind me. I did, yeah. So I used to have all the stuff in the laundry room, which is the next room over. And we decided that I would consolidate everything into here so that we would have more room outside this room. So it's a huge mess still. This is like, there's a big pile right to my right that's all Goodwill stuff. So yeah, it's a work in progress. Work in progress. Okay, let's get started. Hello everyone, my name is Scott and I work for Adafruit on CircuitPython. Adafruit is an open source hardware and software company based out of New York City. I work in Seattle, so I'm remote for them, and I work on CircuitPython, which is a version of Python designed for inexpensive computers called microcontrollers. I'll show an example here. Here's what's called a clue. It's in a MicroBit form factor. It's got a screen instead of LEDs, and then on the back, under this metal thing, the microcontroller's under there. So they're really small. This runs, I don't know, $20 or $30 tops. So it's like very inexpensive, easy to get into. So that's me. If you want to support me, if you like this stream, go to adafruit.com and buy something. We had a really great crew. Last week we sold a lot of macro pads, which are microcontrollers are really common in other things. So here's the MacroPad that we made last week that I still haven't set any software up on. But there's a microcontroller in here that acts like a keyboard. So you can program the keyboard to act however you like. So yeah, we did that, adafruit.com. If you want to hang out with me and others in the Discord chat, which is this way here, you can go to the URL adafru.it/discord. So check that out. We're there all week, so it's a great way to hang out with us and keep tabs of what all is going on. So this is a deep dive. They happen regularly on Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific, so this is a normal time stream. Occasionally, if we're taking just a long weekend, then we'll be on Thursday at 2 p.m. Or I might cancel altogether. But yeah, this is a deep dive, and it's about two hours or so long. So if you have questions about anything related to electronics, I'll do my best. There's also like folks that are in the chat that are really knowledgeable as well. So yeah, I think next week, I forgot to check. Next week, I think is fine. If you want to get notified if we have any time shifts, there is a Discord role called Deep Divers that I'm happy to add you to. And let me know in the comments or in the chats if you'd like me to actually like ping Deep Divers when we start streaming. I could do that as well. Yeah, so the last piece of housekeeping is the kitty, Spook, who's there in the window. If I go to cat cam, he loves to lay in the sun. That is Spook. He is epileptic, so occasionally he has seizures. He's been doing really good, so I doubt it'll happen. But if I'm on stream but not talking, I'm watching like somewhere else. It's just me making sure that he's okay. But he's been doing really good, so I don't think that will happen. Okay. Deep Divers joining. Yep. Yanni, you're in there already. Tall, Dark, and Weirdos watching my email for MacroPad to come back in stock. Or the product focus from that camera. Yeah, so what I wanted to show off today is, as you know, I've been working a lot on, and I'll say hi to Justin too. I didn't say hi to Justin. So the main thing that I've been working on is I've been working on being able to transfer files over Bluetooth. So Bluetooth is a wireless protocol that's commonly used for headphones, like largely headphones. But, oh, and their AdaBox is available too if people want to get an AdaBox. It's a great way to keep up with our latest products. So Bluetooth is a protocol for doing low kind of bit count transfers over Wi-Fi. Or not Wi-Fi, wirelessly, not Wi-Fi though. Wi-Fi is a separate protocol. So what I've been working on is the file transfer stuff. And then what I was working on kind of in the last week or two was connecting the repl over the serial link. So that was just merged in. I did both of those PRs and Dan was like, they look fine. I don't know how to test them. And so that comes to the real question of the problem with Bluetooth is there's no standard file transfer format. There is a standard UART service, which we could actually test here. So the way that I think I can test these things is in Chrome. Let me go to the desktop. And if folks have questions, feel free to ask them. I'm just like, my brain's kind of in this stuff right now. DCD says, are you going to further reverse engineer the Bluetooth clock? No, I am not. I'm not planning on doing that. If somebody knows how to get it to be 12-hour and 20 instead of 24-hour, that would be great, but I can do the math if need be. It's just been really nice, especially like in the last week we've had a lot of heat. So it's been good to see how hot it is in here. Like on Monday it got to 95 in here, whereas it's only 81 now, so it's a lot more comfortable. Okay, so WebBLE is a spec for talking to, oh, I'm spoiling it. It's a spec for talking from a web page to a Bluetooth Low Energy device. And what I've been doing is So this is totally spoilers, but so on my desk I have an Android phone here. And so I think what I can do is I can mirror what I'm seeing on the screen. There. It's not connected up. What are you doing? Let's see. So one thing that I should note while I'm here, in order for this to work, there is this experimental API. So you need to go into Chrome/flags and enable experimental web platform features and use the new permission backend. What this does is it allows the web page to say like, hey, what devices have you previously allowed me to connect to? So there's this, not microdev, WebBluetooth, Makerdiary serial. There's a Makerdiary serial console that they have. Where is it? Sorry, I did not have quite as much time as I usually do to get set up. Let's see what this does. This is Python. Bluetooth. Makerdiary. Oh, maybe I have it on here. Makerdiary web device CLI. That's what I want. Ah, okay. So let me, I think if I do Chrome devices, Chrome inspect. There we go. Pixel 3a. Ah, so here we go. So this is a mirror of what I'm seeing on the Android here. So if I say, oh, I'm printing stuff out and it's not showing. So you're not going to be able to see everything on my screen. But what I've got here is I do have a Feather M0 Express plugged in, and it's blinking, and it's running something close to what is checked in. If we hit connect, you can't see it, but I got a list of devices, and I can click the serpi one, and now it's connected. So I am now connected to, let me make it bigger if I can. So from my Android phone, which is plugged into USB, I'm getting the repl. So if I tap here and I say print, hopefully this works still. So the space below you can't see is the, there's a keyboard on the screen. So all you're seeing is like the web page. You're not seeing any of the like Android stuff around it. But if I hit print hello, it sends over Bluetooth via serial to the device, and it did the repl. Now, unfortunately, there's no way in this repl to hit Control D. Although maybe we support, what is it, quit? Does that do anything? No. I don't know what it's doing. Is there a way to get out of the repl that, I don't know. Quit is not defined. I haven't actually played around with it. So this is showing that the repl is working. Name quit is not defined. Exit? Okay. I remember somebody enabling it. No, that doesn't work either. I think there is a sys exit. What if we do import? Well, so this shows that the serial over Bluetooth is working, which is good. I don't know. I'm hitting enter and I'm getting sys's back, which is not correct. But if I delete everything, I don't know whether the issue here is CircuitPython or not. Hard reset. Yeah, I could do that. This isn't the really fun stuff, though. Like, it's not sending returns. If I hit enter not at the end of the line. Oh, I hit a space. Let's try that. Import. So this is just using a terminal edit. There we go. If I add an extra space, enter. Sys exit doesn't work either. So I can't do Alt F4 because I'm on I'm on an Android. Supervisor.reload. We could try that. Import super. There's no tab either, is there? It's really interesting to see space enter. Dot reload. Does that work from repl? No, it doesn't either. Termulator. Yeah, Christian. Patrick says exit as well. Well, sorry, I don't know why it's not working. There might be third-party keyboards that have a control button on it if you're interested in installing something else for it. No, I'm not really. This is using a terminal called hterm, and I do want to use it. But generally, this is just a web page that we don't control. So what I've been working on is, let's go to this. I've been working on, let's go straight to the punchline. So code.circuitpython.org looks really, really terrible. But this has just been my test page. Microcontroller.reset. I mean, I have physical access. I could hit the reset button, which I certainly probably will have to do. But what I can do is I've already paired with it. So actually, maybe the first time, I think it might be running. Oh no, GDB crashed. Oh, I could get out of it using USB as well. Control C. I thought the cat was circling me. So what I can do is, and I should show this. So this will probably crash, but it's white now because we're in the REPL. So what you have to do if your board has USB as well, you have to prompt it to start advertising. It won't advertise unless you explicitly want it to. So you hit once, and then it goes yellow, and then it goes fast blue, and when it's fast blue, you hit it again, and then when it starts up the second time, it should be solid blue. So now it should be broadcasting publicly, which means that I should be able to, well, on my Android, I think I've got to forget it, but we can try. So I'm going to hit request Bluetooth device, and unfortunately you can't see this because it's part of Chrome, not the web page, but it's showing, I guess I could hold it up. So it's saying, do you want to pair? And then it's called serpi, because I don't have the numbers working. So I'm going to click that and hit pair. And now you should be able to see what happens. So the two buttons grayed out here. and then I can hit bond, and it's prompting me now that I want to pair and connect. So oh, I missed it. Oh no. Let me hit bond again. Let's see. Bond. No, I lost it. Let me reload. Request device. After it's paired, you can click this connect to Bluetooth devices. So that's what I just did. And so it's now connected, and now I'm going to hit bond again. And it prompted me, so I'm going to hit pair and connect, and then pair. And now you can see that it's going. So what's happening here? So what I have is I'm using the Chrome Dev Tools. I've been doing a lot of debugging in the console output of the JavaScript page. And so that's what's happening on the right-hand side. And it turns out this is the way that you do it for debugging Android. So I have too many cables on my desk. Sorry, I tried to get the overhead working, but it wasn't cooperating. So that's why I'm holding stuff up. Okay, so all of this on the right-hand side is all my debugging output. Me making sure everything works and stuff. So what is on the left here is actually, it's a mirror of the page as rendered by my Android that's connected over USB for debugging. And let's see, the other thing I want to show is here. So here is this. And so let me just change, let me scroll up or click up. So now that it's like only the top half, that's because the keyboard's showing in the bottom half. So if I delete this smiley here and I pick another smiley, like this one, now it's saying it's not defined. So what happened is all I'm doing is I'm editing the code in the web page, and there's a delay timer that's preventing it from sending out a bunch. But yeah, so let me fix this. So that was the wrong place to do, so I'll do that. This is the first time I've used emoji as variable names, which I think is actually quite wild. So it just updated, and it got this little, so it's a bunch of prints, and it just printed out the person with the party hat blowing and playing that. So what I can also do is, if you want to see something more dramatic, let's say I want to delete, like, oh, come on. I was like doing it like a pro last time. So I'm just gonna delete all of these, and we'll see that it transmitted, and now they're not printing out. So this is very, very cool. I don't know if you can appreciate this, but it is editing code from a mobile Android phone straight to an NRF device. And it's also showing, like, all the smiley face stuff is fun because it's showing that actually, let me do space times 10. So now we have 10 of those. Yeah, so this is all using a browser. So I started developing this on my Mac from Chrome. I haven't been able to get it working on Linux. Linux, I don't think, has the persistent stuff. But yeah, so this is editing code from your phone. Like if I change, oh, come on. Let's change to a different emoji. 100%. So we got 10 hundreds now. So one thing I want to do on this page is, well, it's going to be made a lot nicer, but this is just the proof of concept. And then I also want to do a serial terminal on this page as well, so you'd be able to see all of the output. What would the difference be with Linux? The thing is, it's Chrome's implementation to whatever like the OS provides for Bluetooth. So they have to have different backends for the same API for all the different OSs. So one thing I found was I was doing it on Mac first, and then when I got to Android, I couldn't write more than like 500 bytes at a time. I actually have to write in 20 byte chunks, which is unfortunate. It means it's slower, but it still works then. Awesome. So yeah, so if anybody wants to try this, it's live. Could something like this be replicated using BLE CLI tools in Linux? 100%. Yeah. Yeah, so if you wanted to get it working in Linux, the way that we were thinking is there's already a CircuitPython library for it. That's like the thing I did before everything else. So git ble-file-transfer is the repo. So this has the protocol definition in it. And you can see like all the different like packets and stuff that are being sent back and forth. What you could do is you can use Blinka BLE.io ideally with this library, and that would give you, in here there's like this, in Adafruit file transfer, there's the service, but then also the file transfer client. So the client just says you can say like read a path starting at an offset, write a path starting at an offset, that sort of thing. So if you wanted to make a CLI tool, you could definitely do that, and we will. The unfortunate thing about all of this is like it's checked in, but there's just like every system needs its own implementation of the same thing. So if you want to see the code for the web editor, it's in this CircuitPython web editor repo that I've just been pushing directly to, and it goes straight to code.circuitpython.org. It's pretty simple, but I already did make a package, an npm package for doing the file transfer. So now there's this Adafruit BLE file transfer thing, and that's too big. Oh, that's really big. So in here you can see that there's this Adafruit BLE file transfer stuff, and there's a file transfer client for JS as well. Unfortunately, well, I've only implemented read file and write file. I haven't done like delete or list or make directory. But these are the toughest ones. So right now code.circuitpython.org is just hard-coded to do code.py. I'm pretty sure that if it works in Chrome, then it should work in Deno, as that's V8 under the hood, and they're making their JavaScript isomorphic. Yeah, I don't know what Deno is. That sounds cool, though. Anyway, I think this BLE stuff is really cool, and I'd love to hear if it works for you. I haven't tried it on Windows yet, but the writing 20 bytes at a file should be pretty universal. There is a safe mode crash from allocating outside the VM that I've been hitting off and on that I don't know exactly what it is. So that's in the code still, though, too. But yeah, this is coding with emojis over BLE. You can see the output. It's lots of hundreds. It's 100 hundreds. And then if I just delete it, it sends it over, and then I get 10. So one thing I was thinking about is that in CircuitPython, normally you have to hit save, but because like we could add a save button to this page, but also like this timer is kind of okay to me. I had to do a lot to make it a bit more resilient, but so far I've gotten it to a reasonable spot now. So let's see. Let's do, oops. One thing would be nice is if, so the editor that I'm using is called codemirror, and codemirror, oh, sorry. Codemirror does structural parsing. It doesn't just tokenize, it actually has like a tree structure from parsing. So it would be nice if it would be able to tell me like syntactically whether it was okay or not. Oh, interesting. Oh, Deno is like node switched up. Nice. For I in range 10. Now we have a 10 by 10 Monaco editor, which is used in VS Code. One thing that I liked about codemirror is that I'm using codemirror 6, and it's like pretty new, but one thing they say is that it's better for mobile. So if we pull up codemirror 6, like codemirror itself is actually used in a lot of places, but it has like touchscreen support, and it's accessible as well. So like it's designed to be better for screen readers too. So yeah, that's why I went with codemirror. But yeah, so one thing I was thinking we could do on the stream today is I could either try to get the serial terminal working on this page, or I'm not like a great HTML wizard. Does codemirror handle Python and CircuitPython stubs? Not natively, but it has a plugin architecture, and River, who was kind of some of the inspiration for this, along with just the fact that like we needed something to test Bluetooth against. River was looking at doing that earlier today. So yeah, we could definitely expand this editor to be better for CircuitPython. But I'm not a great JS HTML person. So if folks in the chat are better at it than me, let me know. I'll bug the learn people too. It's a holiday weekend this weekend too. So let's do one more. Just because it's exciting. Where's ta-da? I love the ta-da one. Here we go. Boom. Oh, and of course I don't have it pulled up. So yeah, that's give it a shot. All you need is the absolute latest version of CircuitPython that you can get from Amazon S3 via circuitpython.org/downloads. And then also you need an NRF board, NRF 52840 board to load that on. But then it should be enabled. You shouldn't have to rebuild it or anything. Aaron says Monaco is great for mobile too, and also has syntax highlighting for many languages built in. Yeah, I haven't looked at it. I would be happy. I would be happy to have somebody switch it. I haven't spent a lot of time. This has just gotten me really far. Although one thing I wanted to look into was ideally we would do we would be able to do type inference, so we'd be able to autocomplete kind of more intelligently. And codemirror has the ability to do like better structured parsing rather than just tokenization. So I'm not sure how Monaco handles that. But yeah, I'm open to it. Like, clearly you all know more than I do about it. So one thing I could do is the serial stuff. Yeah, stubs are live currently on PyPI. Yep, thanks to Foamy Guy for that. But Neradoc says now to test it on the MicroBit v2. So that was the other thing I was thinking I could do on the stream today, is actually get it going with the MicroBit, which I think I will do because I don't know a lot of JS stuff. But yeah, I'll keep working on the library. Like, a lot of what I do is I lay the foundation. I don't leave it pretty. I just get proof of concepts going. So if folks want to help make this code.circuitpython.org not terrible, then please let me know. I was more looking to figure out whether it could be done at all, and it looks like it can. So one thing that I was worried about is if you look in here when it writes, the device actually disconnects. So here's a write finishing here, and then it disconnects, and then this sync starting says like, so what we're doing is we're sending starting from the edit to the end of the file every time we edit. So it'll be slower to edit the start of the file than the end of the file, but that's kind of what the protocol allows right now. But I was worried about all of this reconnect stuff, and it's actually working pretty good. Tony B says there is some code out there to use antlr with Monaco, since antlr can generate parsers in many languages, including JS and JavaScript and TypeScript. Yeah, I mean, this there's already a parser for Python for this, for codemirror. So we are getting syntax highlighting. We're just not getting like type-specific information. But yeah, I'm trying to build all of the libraries so that in whatever language you want, you can do file transfers over BLE. Okay, so let's do this MicroBit, because this will be the first board that's BLE only. And this is one of the reasons I'm doing it. So here's a MicroBit. It's version 2, not version 1. That's the back. There's the front. Version 1 doesn't have enough RAM, really, to run CircuitPython. Mark says, this will work in 6.3 or 7 Alpha 3. No, you need, like, absolute newest. Alpha 3 is too old as well. Yukni says, I love BLE. Bluetooth Classic used to make me want to rip my hair out, but BLE was really simple. Awesome, yeah. And I was just thinking about this today too. Like, there's a spec for file transfers that the Bluetooth organization's kind of floated, but it uses the lower level thing called the link. I'm thinking of the link layer, but there's a L2 cap. Like, there's a protocol under BLE GAT that uses. I explicitly chose not to do that, and as a result, like, WebBluetooth can work for this, which is awesome. That's how you know we're in a deep dive if Alpha 3 is too old. Dan was talking about doing an Alpha 4 like today or tomorrow, and it did get merged in. So basically, like, both the file transfer stuff and the serial stuff is merged in. I'm sure there are bugs still, but River says, what I did is to modify the Python mode JS file for codemirror to have CircuitPython highlighting. I don't think in my client I have any changes. Let me look. I was just doing some stuff to debug. If we look here, git status. Like I just have this one thing changed. Let's add MicroBit v2. Oh, we got a new stage module. MicroBit v2. Okay, okay, good, you can see me. I was just thinking, did I switch my screen over? Yeah, so for all you JS folks, please help me make this site not terrible. What River showed, River did a separate editor that was on the forums. I definitely credit River for like kicking me over the line. Oh, I haven't done forums today. I should do that. Was it replied to? No. I know it's on here. Here we go. 0 setup, 1 stop. Yeah, so this is partly my inspiration here. Oh, and that looks nice. Nicer than before. But this is all designed to use the file system API and the web serial API. So this is for if you're plugged into USB. So I want to like merge the two as well, which would be really cool. So you could just go to code.circuitpython.org and it could say like, are you doing BLE or USB? And it would be the same experience for both of them. Yeah. Can you tell I got up early this morning? So I'll keep working on this, get the other stuff. If you know something, oh, here's a question for the JavaScript people. Do you know a good library I could use for showing a file hierarchy? Because I'm going to do list directory, make directory, and delete directory are the other 3 commands, I think. So I'll need to test those as well. But let's do MicroBit v2. That's what we're doing. So we only have this one file change, and we'll just include that. That's okay. And then let's pull up editor here. So yeah, if folks get this working, let me know. Make sure you do the 2 Chrome flags as well. Okay, so in CircuitPython, we're going to copy. I want to start with. So the chip that's on the MicroBit is a nRF52833, which is like the 840, except it has half the flash and half the RAM. So what we're going to do is there's 2 in here, I think, that we build already. There's the PCA 10100 and there's the Simul as well. So I'm just going to duplicate this. And it's going to be the MicroBit v2. No, that's v2. The awkward moment when I don't remember how to get the RP2040 Connect back into bootloader mode. So that won't work with this if you're trying to do this demo. The RP2040 Connect uses an external Bluetooth device, which is not the same as having a native NRF. So this demo I showed will not work with the external at ESP32. Although one of the things we do want to do once this infrastructure for the workflow stuff is out is we probably want to do ESP32 support. So all your old ESP32 boards will become BLE only CircuitPython boards. Okay, so let's do this. Board. Hardware board name. MicroBit V2. Something like that. NDM WebDocs file system is experimental but support on Chrome and Firefox, etc. Yeah, so WebBluetooth is Chrome only. It's not even on Firefox. Reduce the NRF soft radio memory usage. One thing I was thinking about is whether we would actually be central at all. But I know one thing. One thing we can do is we can turn USB off. We do need to do the internal file system, which is unfortunate. But the MicroBit, the chip supports the chip supports USB, but the MicroBit doesn't have it connected, which is really unfortunate. Creator ID, creation ID, something like that. So this is for discovery over Bluetooth. And then MicroPy hardware LED status, LED TX RX. Let's find a schematic for the MicroBit. MicroBit V2. Meet the new MicroBit. What do we sell them for too? The bundle is 20. Oh, they're $18 a piece. That's a lot. The original was like 7, I think. Right? UPS attempting to misdeliver a parcel here. Is that what the sound was? A UPS person did go by. Or is that just coincidence? Apparently they're $18. Oh, nice. Okay. Let's see. Visit the tech website. Schematic. V2 schematic. Hi, Randy. No worries. Why isn't it showing? It's blank. There's nothing on there. Right now I'm trying to connect to the Bluetooth clock temp humidity display. Oh, I ended up installing the Media temp app for it. A Circuit Playground Bluefruit should work. Here we go. Interface LEDs. LED USB, LED power. Is that it? There's no status LED. What are they connected to? I guess there's an LED matrix. I got it. Target MCU. Is it just the LED matrix that it? Where can I find documentation on Adafruit PIOasm? The language or the library? Like, isn't it just... Yeah, if you go to the repo, and then if you hit docs passing, it will take you to the thing, and it has an example use. If I wanted to make sure that I always have the hardware on hand for what you're working on during deep dives, is there a way to do that? Twitter? You're not giving... I don't really prep for this. But if you wanted, you could just bug me about it on Discord. Ping me on Discord and ask what I'm thinking. So the language here is this bit for the PIOasm is exactly the language that is documented from Raspberry Pi. So it's the same language that you would use with their like PIOasm stuff. It's no different than the one that you would like use to generate C code or whatever. So you would want to look in the like Raspberry or the RP2040 docs for that. It's no different. It's not going to support everything, but it's what it does support is going to be the same. Button UART column. So we don't really have a status. Ring. Row. Oh, so there's both rows and columns. Huh. Oh, they use it for light sensing too. That's clever. Well, this is unfortunate. I don't think that there's a great status LED besides the matrix. So we might need something a bit more custom to get a status LED. So yeah, the LED power is out of the interface and LED USB. So we would have to, we would really want to do like something custom. Like I think that's what they usually do is they actually use the grid to display status information. So let's just ignore that for now. Let's just delete that. It won't be obvious, but... So let's see. Let's do pinout while we're here. So how does the... What do they call the pins on the MicroBit? Expansion. Here we go. So there's P1, P0, 1, 2. No, oh, there is a 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Just done a neat keypad on a 1 pin of a micro using an ADC and a resistor ladder. Nice. Yeah. Neurodoc says like scroll Bluetooth on the LEDs. Maybe we scroll, maybe what we do is we scroll like the last line of the repl or something. Right. Rackbit says you could draw scrolling text on the LED matrix for the most complicated Python prompt. Yeah, we could just do like the last line of text that's been output. That's an option. That's a lot more code than I care to do today, but I'm mainly just wanting to get the, so through 16, right? And then what's the multi-select? It's like this. No, I forget. What am I trying to solve? What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to learn how the MicroBit references the pins and then mapping those pins to their internal names. And then I think what we should do is for button, like we just model. So our policy for how we name things, and this is what ends up in the board module in CircuitPython. And the policy is to match kind of how it's documented by the board creator. Alt D, button B. It would be easier if I was using my full screen, but I'm not. Oh, you know, it looks like, no, color. So it is connected. Oh, it's up through, it's 16 and then 1920, which are also SCL and SDA. We definitely want to define those because those are the names that like we will use for I2C. So rings are, let's look at, where's the MicroBit? How do they? See, they don't call it by their P's here. There's got to be a edge connector. That's a beautiful diagram without labels. Ooh, test point map, nice. Oh, look it, we could make a thing that touches the USB lines. I'm surprised that where's their 0, 1, 2? They really don't have like a naming thing. Thank you. Edge connector pins. Ah, this is what I'm thinking. Thank you, Neradoc. You read my mind. Let's see what this says. Hoo boy. Do they have a V2? Created by those Pimoroni folks. Okay, so we have that. This gives us all our names. And I2C. And then let's just start figuring out the pinouts here. So 20 is SDA. Sorry, my keyboard's in a new spot, which is slowing me down. So if we look here, motion sensor. Rackbit says, this might have been asked before I joined, but if the MicroBit v2 doesn't expose USB, how does one install CircuitPython onto it? Does it have a Bluetooth enabled bootloader? So it does have, it has a separate chip that manages the main chip. And that the USB is connected to the management chip. So you can load CircuitPython onto it over USB, but that USB is not to the chip that would be running to CircuitPython, so you would get no CircuitPy drive. I don't know if the bootloader is Bluetooth enabled. It would be nice if it was, but I haven't looked. But yeah, it's kind of this weird case of like, you can load CircuitPython over USB, but you can't use CircuitPython over USB. And hopefully I'll show that. Ooh. So which ones are these? SCL is 026 and 010. 10 is SD8. $26 is what I said. That's right. I don't actually have to get this all right. I could keep going. This is actually just most of the work. It's getting this right. Yeah, 26 is right. All right, let's... It would be way quicker if I was not having to flip back and forth here. Let's just assume that's correct for now. Or drop a note saying like, to-do, update this. The USB chip is connected to serial, making it suitable for repl access in MicroPython. Oh. Oh, do I have a baby? This is my knee. I don't sit at my chair like I should. That's just my knee. Sometimes I have a cat on my lap, though. I'm playing around with. The moment we allowed repl access over that, though, the moment we would like, people would want to transfer files over it. I'm telling you, Bluetooth, it's the future. So they could have integrated a USB hub to connect both chips like Makerdiary's NRF52840 MDK has. Yes, they could have. Yeah. But they didn't. Okay. And then the main question is, like, how will we actually know that it's working? But let's just give it a shot. Make no debug. MicroBit v2. Also sitting with bad posture. Yeah. Okay. So we got some errors. So I tried to fix these creation ones. So the creation IDs are IDs that are broadcast over BLE to state what board it is. And they're meant to be a superset of USB. So if the board does USB as well, it will reuse that. CircuitPy console BLE. I thought I got rid of that. I thought I called it serial. Let's see what that is. Supervisor serial. Am I not based on the latest thing? No, this was merged today. And there's my add serial over BLE, which should have deleted it. So why is that wrong? I'm gonna see if it's... Oh no. Wait, no, it's insured. Yeah, see CircuitPy serial BLE. What is this? Oh, this is in. Oh, this is console UART. This is an artifact of it not knowing. Yeah, we're gonna delete this. Delete. This is the first time I've done a non-USB BLE only build. Greg says we could reprogram the KL27 to provide file access too. Sure. It wouldn't be pretty. I don't really want to reprogram that coprocessor because then it would make switching to proper microbit and back like way more difficult. I don't know. Are people not excited about having file access over BLE? Like, you should be. All the tooling's really young, but a year from now, it's going to be like, why do I have to use a wire? Okay, so I think the problem is in supervisor, we say, where's our make file? No USB. Supervisor shared Bluetooth serial. If CircuitPy USB is 0. And wildcard. Try this. Well, I deleted the file and that made it so makes sense. Wagonload says, I've been trying to figure out how to send data over laser. Is PWM the way to go? I imagine you want to do like you could do just UART. Because it encodes like as long as you decide the speed. Deshipu says there's IRDA. But I would probably try to do UART. Right, where you have a photo. My brain went to MIDI. MIDI is like, it's over a wire, but there's a isolator, so you end up with a light, like there's a photo optocoupler in MIDI. And so you could think of the laser as like that optocoupler in MIDI. I mean, MIDI's not very fast, so that's another problem. But okay, so here's this if storage enabled in supervisor shared Bluetooth file transfer. Supervisor shared Bluetooth file transfer. If CircuitPy USB MSC didn't account for USB being completely off. Yeah, the Shipu says UART should be more straightforward. Undefined reference. Well, you're getting a deep dive. So NRF supervisor port. Supervisor port. It was in the 300s. Wasn't it? All right, I'm moving this off screen so I could look at it. Task event ready, 392. If Look up FSO, free space optical immunization. Communication, not immunization. I thought you were like immunizing the optical data from the air or something. Undefined reference to USB HIDs GC collect. This is good. This is the birth of USB-less CircuitPython. Whoa. Which is exciting. Huh. I think what we should do is in CircuitPy USB. I don't know what. It's essentially what SpaceX is doing with then I think what I'll do is I'll factor these out. For consistency, this if isn't highlighted. Am I doing it wrong? I think it has to be like if equals or something. That's what I gotta do. Got a lot of questions today, and I'm not talking very much. It's kind of hot in here, even though the windows are open. Okay. Ugh. Just building again. Oh, you know what? We need these as well. Which, you know what? I don't even think I need. Let's do this differently. I don't think I need that. I think I just need to change the ones to depending on. Actually, no, that's not true, because that should be fine. Thinking about like should a board be able to override? Like, no, that's just a misconfiguration. So we just default these to CircuitPy USB. Like, if you explicitly turn on any of these, then you have to also explicitly turn on USB. That's right. Make has been enhanced since I was fluent with it. Must read about it. It's just the way that MicroPython is using it. All right. This doesn't surprise me. We have to run this stuff down. But USB hid GC collect is what we were looking at earlier. But I thought it was that it was gated correctly. 826. $862. I switched it. Yeah, see, maybe in our board def we're accidentally turning it on. No. Maybe we just need to clean and rebuild. If you're ever developing CircuitPython and the build doesn't work, it's always a good idea to do a clean and then try it. Ooh, that's a lot less. Undefined reference to storage enable USB drive. All right, let's take a look at that. Where was it? It's in shared bindings. I think here's a question. If you call USB enable disable, what do we do if USB is not on in the build? Do we raise an exception or do we silently do it? Maybe we'll raise this cannot change USB devices now. Let's do exactly the same pattern that we did before. Except this time we'll default to false. So if CircuitPy USB MSC OK is equal to that. Wait, why are we doing this here? I feel like we shouldn't be doing this here. We should always have those. What does it say? Oh, it's in that function. Undefined reference. Shared module storage. if CircuitPy MSC. Here we go. This is what we'll do. Let's say else. And then it's if we return false, it will say, okay, so we just return false in here. I think in general it's better to raise an exception than silently assume that we did the right thing. Close. Getting close. The only thing we don't have now is serial write substring. Why is that? That should be from supervisor shared serial. Supervisor write. Oh, come on. Write substring. It's right there. But maybe we're not doing the shared version, like our make. Like maybe we're in here. If there's no supervisor serial, then we use the stub. Otherwise, we don't. Why is that? Like, we don't want to use the stub. If not CircuitPyUSB. Otherwise, you can't raise an exception from boot.py. You can. It should output to boot.out.txt. And in fact, MicroPython just, if you get an exception in boot.py in MicroPython now, it won't run anything else, which I think we should do too. We should do too. Where do we pull in? Oh, here we do. Shared serial. Here's what I think. Let's delete this stub serial. And if, yeah. We'll use supervisor serial if it's provided. So we're going to get rid of stub serial. What's this say? Delete file. I think that's right. David, were you asking me about NM? I'm not sure why you're asking that. I'll clean again. These are all the places that USB stuff leaked into things. These are all in live tiny USB. And we overflowed. In function serial connected. in shared serial, it should be, oh, maybe we don't. We don't successfully guard it. Huh. That doesn't make much sense, does it? Can you do something like a trace route to find where USB is called? I mean, I think that's essentially what the linker is doing. Like, the linker is telling us, like, the file that's calling something that's not available. The linker error message might have pointed to where the error undefined right substring was. It didn't tell you where it expected to get it from, though. So I think the subtlety here is like USB CDC is not controlling whether we do CDC at all. Oh, AG. Yeah. Okay, I think that's right. That'll get us closer. Should I go into more detail about... So the compilation process is it compiles, it takes every individual file and it produces machine code for each individual function. And then the second step is what's called the linker. And the linker is saying, like, this code here said there's a function called that, and I'm looking through all these other files, and I don't think... I think that endif should have been an elif. Where? Here? It'll be fine. I think it's okay. Yeah, we're overflowing. Last but one. You can do my review and tell me. Supervisor workflow reset. This is a chance for me to use. Old IBMs actually had the syntax check, compilation, and linking as two separate steps. Supervisor shared workflow. Oh, maybe I'm in here. We need to do that as well. We must not have anybody that's doing their own serial handling. But I thought that those presents did. So this is the escape hatch if you don't want to use TinyUSB for your serial. You can provide your own serial instead. Well, bummer. It's too big. It's too big even though we turn some stuff off. So let's take a look at the map file and see, or you know, the other trick I like to do is actually the first step. I like to do, my mouse is too far away from me. Let's just save this. So just saved it so that a file has been updated, and then I do v = 2, and it prints out the full command, which will let me look through all of the things that we have enabled. So we're doing, how big is too big? We're like 1800 bytes over. 1880. Which is why I was thinking about making it peripheral only. So BLE has these two roles. Central is the thing that scans and initiates connections, and then the peripheral is the thing that advertises and can be connected to. So like your headphones are only ever peripherals, but your phone can be a peripheral or a central. And CircuitPython devices right now can be both as well. But one thing I have in the back of my mind is that for the ones that we need need that room, we could turn it off so that they can only be peripherals. And we could even more specifically we could even make it so that like only CircuitPython itself can use BLE. So like BLE.io would be gone completely, for example. If we wanted to do that, we could. That's an option. So we don't have alarm, which I actually imagine we would want alarm. We don't have MP3. We don't have bin ASCII. So what I'm doing is I'm going through these. So we do have BLE-io, and we have BLE file service. Using NM. We have board. We don't have bus device. We do have POW3. Yeah, what is POW3? I don't even know. Bus IO, no camera, no CAN, digital IO, go to save space. No frame buffer, no vector IO. No MPY native. Yes, error, no. No JSON, no keypad, no math. No memory monitor. We have microcontroller. No pixel buff, no PS2 IO. We do have pulse IO and PWM IO and random. No RE. We do have rotary IO. We do have RTC. Serial BLE. Storage struct supervisor. Synth IO. Terminal IO. touch. We do want touch. No USB. I'm surprised USB didn't save more space. Like, I think that's the first thing we should check is let's just make sure. Oh, look at this. Here it says CircuitPy USB HID is equal to CircuitPy USB. So it's possible that, well, no, it's probably okay. That's certainly not right. We should fix that, but. Sounds of seaplanes landing on Lake Union. Yeah, probably. They do like to fly over us. It's 3 argument math.pal. Yeah, let's turn that off. Let's turn that off first. This is the make it fit game. We could also make it slower and then it'll fit. Yeah, I want dollar CircuitPython USB. You're right. Bus device would be nice to have. Do I have it open still? I think it doesn't need parens too. I think it does. I'm gonna do a clean and make again. I was hoping the USB stuff would help. Let's check again. Is your USB/Bluetooth a subset of something else? So you can access it through another doorway. Not sure what you mean, wagon loads. Subset of something else. I can run make clean all. Then I delete everything. Well, we got like 500 bytes back. That was probably the POW though. But now we can do the same thing and save a file and make it again with the v2. I'm actually quite surprised that it's not a subset of a port. I still don't know what you mean. Oh, make clean and then all, which is the same as make. I see. Let's see, did we fix CircuitPy? Yeah, the USB CDC thing we fixed. Ender. There's no file system, which is part of the problem. I kind of want to just do... Is there some flash size configuration? I don't... Well, it's per... It's for the specific device, so I think it's right. Like, this is not the first board with an NRF 52833. I kind of do think some of these things we're going to want to... Well, I have a couple tricks up my sleeve here. One is that we can take a look at what the symbol does. The symbol's on the same board, and they do these 3 optimizations as well. So we can do those for sure. And that should free up enough for us to build. No, I don't think it's unstable. I think it'll work. Something is using a lot of overhead, so if you can access it going through a different path that doesn't use the overhead. I mean, the thing that uses a lot of overhead is like all of the CircuitPython mechanics. And the 833, I think, is 256K flash. Is that right? Or is it 512? It's probably 512. NRF 52 833. It might actually not be. Okay, so it's 512 flash, 182 KB RAM. And how much of that flash is used by different things? So this built, and see with -S now we have 21K. But here we can see that the flash firmware has 237, so 232K, which is not a lot. That's significantly less. Let's find our linker file. Our linker file is going to, let's see, on NRF 52840, the first 64K RAM is 8 blocks. So, GNU linker script for the 840 with 6.0 SoftDevice. How does this get built? Make file. I think Dan did this work. Flash with debugger, flash with DFU. Really? common.template.ld. There's usually like a LD defines. Here we go. Fake source to capture values. CircuitPy firmware start address. So what we should be able to find in here is in our build MicroBit v2, there's a common LD. So entire flash is not right. 512 times 1024. Yeah, that is right. 512K. I wonder if that works. Flash MBR. Flash firmware. Look at all that math. BLE config. NVM. Should we get our Python out? The BLE stack is huge. Yeah, that would be my expectation. What is that magic optimization and why would it not always be enabled? So what I changed was the compilation settings. So there's kind of 4 tiers of compilation optimization. So there's O0, which doesn't do any optimization. There's O1 and O2 and O3. And like as you go up in numbers, the more aggressive the compiler is. And that gradation usually optimizes for execution speed. It doesn't execute for code size. So there's also -OS, which optimizes for code size. So the problem with that is that it may not be the fastest thing to execute, but it will. It instead is a bunch of settings that are geared towards being smaller. Where's my Python? Just do Python length 40. So the bootloader itself is 40K. We have 60K for FATFS. And we have 12K for a BLE config. And then this big long math thing for how big the firmware is, which should be the 262 or 232. Wagonload says, what about doing something type of memory allocation like what is done in JSON buffer size? I'm not sure what you mean by that. SoftDevice is this much, which is how much? 150K? $152. So we're taking 500. We have 512, and we have 232 minus 152 leaves 128. So that's SoftDevice and that. But then the file system, the CircuitPy file system is 60. The bootloader is 40, and the bootloader settings is another 4, which leaves us with 24, which the ISR is 4, and then MBR is, oh, there's also BLE config. BLE config is 12. What is SoftDevice? So SoftDevice is, it's a binary blob that Nordic gives you that does all of the BLE stuff. So it's not something really that we can, I think this is 8K. I think that's right. It's not something we have a lot of control over. It's 4K. So we're missing 4K. Shrink memory allocation for something you're not using, so you can add it to what you need. Needs more buffer size. Yeah, definitely. That's kind of what we're doing, is we're looking at all the different things that we're using and figuring out which of those we can squeeze. Anthony says, thanks for showing me this on your stream. I don't think people, and even me, realize how much hard work goes into making CircuitPython. You're welcome, Anthony. That's what deep dives are all about. Deep dives are all about the weeds, all the details. So if you have questions, feel free to ask them. So this is 4. We accounted for this. Oh, the ISR is the last 4? I can't remember. Anyway, we're pretty close. Let's take a look at, let's do some Googling here. It works for RAM, but not for flash memory. Think of it like a disk. Yeah. So we have 512 total. We could also look at optimizing CircuitPython itself, which we can do, but I want to just see. So if you look down, there's the SDK. So here's the SoftDevices. It's a memory optimized. So here are our options that we can use. So what we're currently using is this S140, which is a feature-rich central and peripheral stack for the 811, the 820, the 833, and the 840. And it's got all this stuff in it. 122 is a central-only BLE protocol stack for the 820, the 833, and the 811. So this wouldn't work on the 840s. And then the S113 is a peripheral only, which is what we were talking about. It works on the 805, the 810, the 811, 820, the 832. Oh, which is interesting. The NRF52832 is an older chip. 833 and 840. So that's something that we could use kind of across the board. So what I'm curious about is what the size of this 113 is. I don't remember where they tell you soft device sizes. Oh, this is interesting. Let's look at this. 805 is 192K flash. The 810, 192, 192. 832 is 512, depending on which version you have. And the 840 has a whole 1 megabyte, which is great. And most of our 840 boards also have external flash. So that 60K we're using for the internal drive now, we wouldn't need either. So I think generally it's okay for us to be, if we were peripheral only. Yeah, for almost all of our cases, you wouldn't be able to have it be... No, you would be able to have it be... Yeah, peripheral only would be fine. I was thinking like the case where you want it to be like a USB or like a keyboard or a mouse. Like you could still do that. Okay, so let's see what this 113 size is. Is it in specification? Yeah, see, it's a precompiled and linked binary image implementing 5.1. Multi-protocol support. Supports the use of a bootloader. I'm not sure where. I found it here before. Product overview. So the soft device will tell you like what layout it expects. Are all the images already on your file system? Yes. Yeah, maybe it's memory usage. Let's look. There. It's either that or it's this, probably the bootloader. Memory map. Here we go. There's a map of what we're talking about. MBR vector table, MBR soft device, app code base. So it does change a little bit from with how you configure the soft device. That's true as well. I'm remembering that now. The amount that you need to give it, there's a process for like when you initialize it, you tell it how much it has, I think, and it can tell you how much it uses. Oh, here, memory resource requirements. Soft device RAM consumption. Oh, maybe that's with RAM. $15.36. But it doesn't show. I think I'm misremembering. I'm thinking of the RAM. How to decide the RAM size. Let's just Google it. Soft device sizes. Here we go. Nordic Q&A. Of what soft device consumes in terms of flash or RAM, more specifically in the release notes. $33.2 is 168. Ah, it's provided by Dynastream. They must be the reason it's closed source. Let's see if we can find the release notes. Was it 113? I think is what we were looking at, right? 113.70. Specification. Is the release notes not in here? Revision history? No. Or we get it from Dynastream. Ant Plus. Oh, these are all the other ones. NRF 52832. That didn't do anything. Click, download soft device. Oh, you know, it might be on. Let's just look at the 140. Documentation, downloads. So we're actually on like 6.1. Change log. Just let it open. Release notes. Can you see that? They are kept brief. Ah, so here you can see it's 152K. So that's 6.1.1. I'm curious about the later versions. So like, what if we went all the way up to like 7.2? If we download 7.2, what do we get? I don't know why it's like double zipped. Release notes. Oh, it's like a history. So 7.2 is also 156. Discovered more efficiently. All right. 156. That's the number to remember. for 740. Now if we go to products, oh dear. Maybe if we jump to the device. .113. Is that what this is? Yeah. 113 downloads, 7. I bet they're all the same. It's like double zipped. So S113 is 112. 112. So it would save 156, 44 kilobytes. All right, we're over time. I'm surprised y'all are with me still. We actually have a binary, so let's end by seeing what we could do. So it does it as a UF2, but we don't have a UF2 bootloader on this. So if I unplug my feather, sorry you won't be able to see this, but if I plug in the MicroBit, it makes noise because it's got the default code on it. But it also shows up here as MicroBit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into CircuitPython, ports, NRF, build MicroBit v2, and we actually do have a hex here as well. So I'm going to drag the hex over and copy it there and see what that does. I'm not sure how it manages soft device and things, so I could brick it. Can you imagine a classroom of kids making that sound? I know, right? Well, so I'm not sure if it did anything. This CircuitPy drive here is a different device. Let's see what detail says. Like, it's using this like DAP link firmware. It has WebUSB. It's not making noise. Let me see if it's advertising with my phone. Great, you're doing great. So my iPhone's not seeing any advertisements. So what I probably need to do as a next step is figure out how to connect a debugger. See if it's like crashing or something. Is there anything like BLE buffer size 1024? There's a lot of options. It's not just one. Unfortunately. Ship Shoop. Great stream, really enjoying seeing Under the Hood. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for hopping in the Discord. Sorry, it looks like this MicroBit's not going to cooperate. It's going to take some more focus than what I have right now. But let me just see. My Android doesn't see it either. So one thing to think about that I don't know is like they might not allow you to program the soft device or something. So like if we're expecting a different soft device than what they like force you to use, then that could be a problem. So I'm gonna have to take a look into like what the binary format expectation is for that. Gareth says, great progress. Off topic. Has anyone used Copilot, the AI programming assistant thingy by GitHub? I have not. I'm all about things that make it easier to program though, so I think that's cool. And Fetty2, let me know how the BLE editing stuff goes for you. I think you're going to do it on Linux, so make some tools for that. That would be awesome. So MicroBit's going to take some more work to figure out exactly what is going on. So sorry. But check out code.circuitpython.org if you have Chrome on Android, Apple, Windows, or Linux might work. I don't think so, but you might be able to give that a try, and then you want an NRF 52840 board to go with it. Minnesota Metet says, thanks again, Scott. Always enjoy. Have a great weekend. Yeah, you too. I'm out Monday, Tuesday, but I should be back Friday. So let me wrap up. Thank you, everyone. This has been an awesome couple hours with you. We've been working on the BLE workflow for CircuitPython. Still very early days, but making lots of really, really good progress. As always, I'm sponsored by Adafruit to do the streams and do the work on CircuitPython. So if you want to support me, support them by going to adafruit.com and purchasing some hardware. Now is a great time to pick up an NRF 52840 board if you haven't already, able to test all this new stuff that we're doing. ESPs will come later when we get all of this stuff ironed out. But for now, NRF 52840s are the place to be. If you want to chat with me and a lot of others, you can join the Discord by going to the URL adafru.it/discord. Love to have you there. Again, this is a deep dive that happened normally at 2 p.m. Pacific. I'm in Seattle, that's why. And they go for 2 hours. So thank you all. I will pet Spook on the way out like I normally do and talk with you next week after I ban this person. Come on. There we go. Silly. I was so close. So close to finishing the stream. All right, time for some kitty pets. Spook. You're hiding where they can't see you. All stretched out. Kitty here. All right, folks, have a great weekend. See you next week. And on the Discords, you're welcome for banning wagon loads. That's what we do. We moderate our communities. Bye, all.